You're listening to the Real Elevation podcast. I'm your host, Mike Hendricks, and here we discuss topics on personal fitness, well-being, and elevation of mind and body. Join us as we help build and grow a community of real, elevated men and women. If you're currently feeling frustrated, flat, and fed up with life, or want to be a physically and mentally elevated individual, you're invited to join us each and every week here on the Real Elevation podcast. Welcome to the RE family and get ready to elevate your mind and body. Welcome to the Real Elevation podcast. I'm your host Mike Hendricks, and today we have another outstanding, informative and elevating show for you. I'd like to welcome all first-time listeners to the podcast, and be sure to stay to the end where I'll be sharing all my social media links where you can connect with us as we continue to grow the Real Elevation podcast community. Thank you, bless you, and welcome to today's fantastic show. We have another informative and uplifting and inspiring show again in store for you today. So, what we're going to be talking about is a topic that can really help to boost and keep you in the groove of moving towards your goals. Now, the truth is, no matter how well you train or how hard you think you're looking after yourself, if your daily habits don't support your goals and your objectives, you're really going to struggle. So, fitness and your well-being isn't just about what you do in the gym, or it's about what you do on the workout mat if you're working at home, for example. It's about what you're doing every day. So we're talking about habits. So today I'm going to share 4 simple, but yet you can class these as really powerful home-based habits that will set you up for success. These habits don't require any fancy equipment, don't require a gym membership. You can do them pretty much anywhere, and they require very little time, but their impact when done consistently, that's what we talk about, developing habits, can be massive. So fast track or fast forward your fitness. 4 home-based habits to fast track your fitness. Fast forward your fitness. 4 home-based habits to fast track your fitness and your well-being. All right, let's dive into it. So number 1 is morning hydration and electrolyte boost. Now, why this works is that your body dehydrates overnight. So when you get into bed, you're going through a little bit of a dehydration process. And that can lead to fatigue, can lead to sluggishness, can lead to impacting on your metabolism, and even develop cramps. Now, research shows that even a little bit of dehydration can impair your focus, your physical performance, your productivity, and also your fat metabolism. So if your goal is to manage your weight more effectively, help get yourself down to a specific weight, you need to be thinking about keeping your body well hydrated. So what you can do to make sure you do keep hydrated is to start each morning with 500 to 750 milliliters of water. So if you want in terms of cups, a simple cup or a glass of water or a large size glass of water to start your day. Do that before anything else. That's one of my personal routines. Wake up, come down, let the dog out, have a glass of water. That is just built in. That is something that I do each and every day. So if you're not doing that at the moment, you can start that as one of your action steps. Number 2, you can add a little bit of sea salt or Celtic sea salt into that water to replenish minerals and optimize your hydration. So we know that when we are sweating or perspiring, we can lose electrolytes. So to help mitigate that, what you can do is add some quality salt, Celtic sea salt, Himalayan pink salt, or sea salt of quality into your water, or you can use an electrolyte powder. There are many different brands that supply good quality of these into your drink to help to make sure you're keeping yourself hydrated. And one of the third action steps that you can do is maybe squeeze some lemon juice into your water. That just helps with your digestion and it helps to alkalize the body. Now, be careful with this because it obviously can have an effect on your teeth enamel. So just moderate that, but find out what works for you. So there are 3 action steps that you can do to help keep yourself hydrated. Morning hydration and electrolyte boost. Yeah, science backs this up. Studies done by the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism indicate that drinking water can boost your metabolic rate by up to 30%. And that can last up to 90 minutes. So imagine the impact of having a boosted metabolism just by keeping yourself well hydrated. So this is my encouragement for your home habit number 1. Get in the habit, get in the routine of getting up and hydrating your body. Your body will function so much better. You'll maximize your potential so much more effectively when you're keeping yourself hydrated, especially with good quality water. Try stay away from tap water. Filter your water if you can. You've heard me talk about the benefits of optimizing your water source. I'll leave a link in the description down in the show notes so you can check out that episode where we speak in detail about water. But do your best with what is accessible and easy for you. Keep yourself hydrated and electrolyte boost first thing on the morning. Habit number 2, daily mobility and joint care routine. So you're looking at practicing and developing habits that's going to keep you nice and mobile and supple. Why this works. Now, I'm usually speaking to an audience of people over the age of 45, going to 56 and older. So we know, and you may have experienced this yourself, that as we age, we can see us beginning to stiffen up in our joints. We can experience joint pain, and our mobility can become a bit of an issue. It can become a bit more difficult to maintain that same level of mobility as we did before. These are common issues, we know that. So a daily mobility routine keeps your joints healthy, keeps you supple, reduces the risk of injury, and improves your workout performance. I'm always encouraging you to find a workout formula that works for you, but that's going to be difficult if you're feeling stiff, you're feeling achy, you're restricted in your mobility. So daily mobility and joint care is essential. So action steps that you can take: 5 to 10 minutes. Have you got 5 to 10 minutes each morning to do some simple dynamic stretches? Things such as the yoga, cat-cow, up and downward dog, hip circles, thoracic rotations. Very simple movements. Don't take a lot of time, don't take a lot of space. You can do those first thing on the morning. That's action step number 1. Other thing you can do is use controlled breathing to help improve your mobility and your movement quality. Now, yes, breathing and the way we breathe, or the way we don't breathe, will impact on your mobility and your flexibility. So practicing some simple breathing, controlled breathing techniques to help relax muscle, take stiffness out. I see these way too often with my clients that they're just tense and tight all the time, and there are many different reasons for that. In terms of maybe they have previous injuries, they might be carrying some internal trauma in the fascia. There's many reasons, but for many people they are very tight. But breathing, controlled breathing, different breathing practices and techniques can really help. And the third action step, and this applies to many people who work at a desk, set a simple reminder. So if you spend a large quantity of your working day sat in front of a screen or a desk, set a simple reminder to get up and move every half an hour or every hour, or whatever is suitable and convenient for yourself. Get up, move your feet, move the body, get the blood flowing, keep your body nice and mobile. So there are 3 action steps that you can do to help habit number 2, daily mobility and joint care routine. All right, moving on. Home habit number 3, protein-packed first meal. Now, we know for most men and women over the age of 45, 50s, we don't eat enough protein. Our diet tends to be more fats and carbohydrate based, and often the fats that we eat, they're not the best fats. And we know that protein is essential for muscle maintenance. We talked about this before. And we also need a good quantity and the right quantity of protein to help with any sort of fat loss goals and also optimize our energy. So a high protein first meal keeps you fuller for longer, has that potential to keep you fuller for longer, avoid you reaching for the snacks. It reduces those cravings and helps preserve your current lean and muscle tissue, muscle mass that you have at the moment. So having a protein-packed first meal is very beneficial. So what you can do in terms of your action steps, look to have 30 to 40 grams of protein in your first meal. Now, I'm not saying you have to do this every day, but you analyze your current diet. Now, again, you have to eat right for your metabolic type or your primal type. You've heard me talk about that before. But for many of us, especially as we age, protein is essential. You can get good protein sources from things like good quality organic free-range eggs, Greek yogurt. You can make up your own blend of a protein smoothie. Get creative with that. Research what things you might like to see in your protein smoothie. So they're things that you can do to take control of having more protein in your first meal of the day. And when I say first meal, it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be a breakfast. It may be that you're doing a fast and you're eating later in the morning. But protein is key. Number 2, add good quality healthy fats. Nuts, olive oil, coconut oil, avocado. These can help to also stabilize your blood sugars so you don't get that massive spikes or peaks and troughs in your insulin levels, which many people struggle with. And moderate your carbohydrates to avoid those crashes, as I said. So if you're having a breakfast in the morning, a lot of people will have something carbohydrate based, and within 90 minutes, 2 hours, they're feeling hungry again. That's because the body hasn't been properly fueled. So avoid those crashes, moderate those carbohydrates. So there's 3 action steps that you can do to make sure habit number 3 is kept on point. So a protein-packed first meal of the day. And science backed it up. Again, you know, I like to refer to papers that I've read and journals that I've read. And in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, they found that high-protein breakfast can reduce your calorie intake by up to 400 plus calories later in the day. And that can obviously help with any weight management or fat loss goals that you may have. So eating good quality protein in your first meal can have many, many benefits, including reducing overall calories throughout your day. So what we're talking about here, we're talking about fast forward your fitness, 4 home-based habits to fast track your fitness and your well-being. So we're getting on to the last one now, which is habit number 4. And this, for me, for many of my stressed out busy clients who are working hard, this is a non-negotiable, and that is evening wind down routine. So we spoke about things that typically we're doing in the morning. Number 4 is a non-negotiable evening wind down routine. Now we know that sleep is very important. Sleep is the foundation of recovery. It helps with your hormone balance and it helps with your overall health. Now I mentioned that for a lot of the people that I help and I work with, they work hard, really, really hard. You may be the same. Someone that's working very, very hard, maybe long hours as well. And for a lot of them, they're stressed, they're wound up, and they're anxious. So making sure that we encourage good time to rest and recover is important. And wherever you may think sleep is the best and the cheapest way to do that, to allow your body to get some rest and recovery time in. Yeah, poor sleep, we've spoken about before. It leads to things such as fat gain, poor concentration, can lead to muscle loss, and obviously if you're tired and fatigued, you're going to be low in motivation to keep focus on your objectives, whether that's personal objectives or professional objectives. So action steps that you can do to make sure you get that good wind down routine. Set a consistent bedtime is action step number 1. You were looking for ideally 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep. So that means ideally getting to bed by 10:30, 11 o'clock if we're waking up at 6:30. So try to be consistent with your bedtime. Be creative, action step number 2, and create a good wind down routine. Now, I say creative, I use that word just to make sure it's individual for yourself. There are different tips on what you should do, but you have to find out what works for you. As I said, take personal responsibility. Create a wind down routine that signals to your body, signals to your central nervous system, right, it's time to relax now, time to switch off, we're about to go to sleep. So you can do things such as dimming the lights, reducing that screen time an hour before you go to bed. Read, listen to the music, journal, stretch, pray, meditate. Find something that's going to work for you to help you settle down, wind down, and get a good quality night's sleep. And other thing that you can do as well is in terms of action step, use things such as herbal remedies, herbal teas or magnesium, things such as lavenders. They again can all send a signal to the central nervous system, to your brain that it's time to wind down, that can enhance your ability to relax and recuperate as you begin to settle in for a good quality night's sleep. And again, science backed this all up. National Sleep Foundation, they did a report that they uncovered that consistent sleep patterns improve things such as testosterone, they reduce cortisol, which is a stress hormone, and they enhance your physical recovery by up to 60%. So if you're working hard, which I say for many of us tuning in, that's what we do, you need to make sure you're being on point, you're being deliberate, being on purpose when it comes to allowing your body to rest and recover and sleep well. So this is why getting a good night's sleep for me is a non-negotiable. Making sure you have a good evening wind down routine is very important. All right, so let's recap on what we spoke about today in our Real Elevation podcast episode. We spoke about keeping our 4 home-based habits on point so we can fast track towards fitness and well-being. Number 1, we mentioned about our morning routine, making sure that we're keeping hydrated and having electrolytes in our system. That's going to help to kickstart our metabolism and optimize our energy throughout the day so we can be more productive. Number 2, we said look to incorporate a daily mobility routine that's going to prevent stiffness, tightness, soreness, improve our movement and reduce our risk of pain. Number 3, we said protein-packed first meal. That's going to help you support your muscles, keep hunger under control, stabilize your energy so you're not reaching for those craving foods that can sometimes happen. And number 4, we mentioned about our wind down routine, a non-negotiable. Especially if you're working hard all day, you need to relax, you need to chill out. And this is going to help you do it by improving your sleep, boosting your recovery, and helping your hormone balance and your hormone health. Now, I'm going to set you a challenge, and that challenge is to pick one of these habits and start implementing it today. Not tomorrow, today. You've heard me say before, small daily actions lead to massive long-term changes. So I'm going to challenge you to pick one and start implementing that today. You can let me know how you're getting on. You can contact me on all the usual platforms. You can catch me on Instagram. You can catch me on Facebook. You can catch me on LinkedIn. And you can also catch me on TikTok as well. I'll leave all the links in the show notes so you know exactly where to do, make it easy for you. So I hope and I trust you found today's episodes insightful and helpful. Remember to share it with your circle of influence, and I appreciate you for doing that, because each week we're getting those more and more downloads, and that's down to you sharing the Real Elevation podcast story. So thank you very much. And remember, if you're over the age of 45 and want to regain control of your fitness and your well-being so you can perform and produce at your best without living in the gym and following some crash diet within the next 90 days, why don't you give me a call? I'll leave a link in the show notes again so you can fill out a form and we can get in touch and we can talk about you. All right, that's it for today. Remember, be well, be wise, be cool, be calm, and keep it real. Until next time, blessings and chi. Peace.